Fires could start.
Larch Creek Fire,
Cow Valley Fire,
the Falls Fire.
Excessive heat warning.
100 fires burning in the state.
So a long wildfire season.
Some of the largest fires in the state.
Human-caused fire.
Get ready to evacuate.
It's burning more than 110,000 acres.
1,000 lightning strikes in Oregon. Investigators believe they started several new
series of fires in Umatilla County.
Several wildfires continue to scorch our region's landscapes.
You've seen the news, maybe even felt the heat of the westward wildfires firsthand. Halfway through the year 2024, we have all heard of global warming, with raging wildfires, mass famine, destructive earthquakes, and hurricanes. It's understandable why some ignore it, while many are making major strides to fight it. Life is short. Many would rather focus on enjoying it and leave the climate crisis to future generations. Considering approximately 50% of carbon emissions come from the richest 10% of the population, it really isn't the responsibility of average people like you and I to fix. However, with millions displaced, habitable land dwindling, and insurance companies leaving high-risk homeowners high and dry, regardless of which side you're on, everyone must begin preparing to survive in a world on fire. How, you might ask? Well, first let's get the facts straight. Before you can worry about global warming, it's important to note that on our 36 billion acre planet, it's estimated that only 15 billion acres are habitable before climate change is taken into account. This is due to mountainous and desert land taking up 57% of the Earth's dry land. Another important fact to keep in mind, currently with a population of over 8 billion, of which approximately 27% go without access to food, it is estimated we would need 1.7 Earths to sustain the growing population. Increasing food insecurity. Over the past 40 years, 1/3 of Earth's farmland is no longer viable to supporting crops. Simultaneously, since 1950, the amount of people to be fed increased exponentially from 2.5 billion to 8 billion, with the 9 billion milestone expected by 2040. If we were to sustain this upcoming milestone, its estimated crop production would have to increase by 50%. This is a rather daunting task considering approximately 30% of the Earth's ice-free surface is used for livestock rather than crops. The next obstacle brings us full circle to the topic of the video. Heat. Shortly after the Industrial Revolution ended, conclusive records for global temperature data began being recorded in 1880. Ever since, they have risen, and much like the population, the growth has been exponential. In fact, the 10 hottest years since the records began occurred in this decade. You probably know that carbon dioxide emissions are responsible, but the severity of human involvement might shock you. Coinciding with the Industrial Revolution ending, the global uptick in manufacturing and rapid burning of fossil fuels in 1850, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere was 182 times lower than it is today. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, by 2100 average global temperatures could increase by 8 degrees Fahrenheit. This might not sound like much if you live in a colder climate, but its implications are much more severe and personal than you may think. A study conducted by Camilo Moreau found that as of 2017, 30% of the global population experienced deadly heat and humidity at least 20 days out of the year. This was projected to grow to 50% by 2040. But it hit that milestone quite early in the summer of 2023. Other research shows that climate change could be responsible for up to 1/3 of heat-related deaths globally. With such doomed numbers and chosen ignorance among the rich and powerful, it seems the ball will only roll downhill from here. While natural disasters are a worrisome factor in the climate change crisis, heat waves kill more people every year than any other disaster combined. As warm-blooded mammals, our bodies are designed to operate at a core temperature of 98 degrees Fahrenheit. When our cores rise above this, our glands produce sweat, which evaporates into the air, subsequently sucking heat out of our pores and regulating our temperature. However, when it comes to surviving high temperatures, humidity plays a large role. The higher the relative humidity, the harder it is for our sweat to evaporate. But just how much heat and humidity can the human body survive? It can get pretty complicated on a calculation level. However, to keep it simple, we will go by heat index, a number that represents the temperature with humidity taken into account, which you can check daily on your weather app. The highest heat index a human can survive is estimated to be 161 Fahrenheit. This might make it seem like we have wiggle room, but a heat index of 161 degrees can occur when temperatures are 95 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity is 100%. When the temperature rises, the lethal humidity level needed lowers, and vice versa. In August 2023, at Iran International Airport, a deadly heat index of 178 degrees became the highest ever recorded. Without further ado, here are the steps to surviving the extreme heat that's to come. For now, during peak heat times, there are small actions you can take to prepare, such as staying hydrated, wearing sunscreen, avoiding direct sunlight, growing green plants on your roof, conserving water, stockpiling necessities, and flood-proofing your property are all band-aids you can put on the global warming wound. But what will we do when the wound becomes seriously infected? How do we avoid fatality? Unfortunately, as things literally heat up in the world, it's to be expected that those like myself living in poverty will be the first and worst affected. So if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to leave a like and comment what topics you'd like to learn about next. One major factor of surviving your time on this world in general is money. Eventually it won't be worth anything, but right now it's more important than ever. With supply of basic needs decreasing just as fast as demand is increasing, everything's only going to get more expensive. So first you'll need a secure, high-paying job to endure the climate crisis, but you'll also want it to be indoors and air-conditioned. Then, with the money you have from this job, you'll want to move. In a worst-case scenario where the polar ice caps melt completely, the entire state of Florida, along with countless other coastal regions, will be swallowed whole by the ocean. So you might want to look for landlocked properties. It's tricky considering half the world's population experienced dangerous heat levels last summer. But there are places where the effects of climate change are occurring slower. According to Earth.org, you may want to seek refuge in New Zealand, Iceland, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Ireland, due to their population size and self-sufficiency. If moving is not an option for you, it's time to start digging. Basements and bunkers will remain cooler longer. Although over time the ground temperature will begin to increase as well, you'll be safer than some. Once you've built your doomsday bunker, you'll want to top it with solar panels to power air conditioning and fill it with as many necessities as possible. Non-perishable food and a deep well are good places to start. If you have allergies or asthma, you'll need to secure access to medicine as higher temperatures leads to higher pollen levels. Some oxygen tanks might be a good addition, along with good healthcare starting now. While warmer winters means less cold-related deaths, deathly hot summers opens up a wormhole for heart, respiratory, and infectious diseases. To avoid contracting malaria from the unimaginable amount of mosquitoes we will soon see, or breathing in smoke from looming wildfires, it'd also be smart to invest in a hazmat suit equipped with a gas mask for when going outside is necessary. If you follow this advice closely, you'll have a better chance than most of surviving the climate crisis. On the other hand, if governments came together on a global scale to combat the crisis, it'd save us all a lot of trouble in the long run. Now is the time to be loud, write your politicians, and demand that things change before it's too late. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments if you are prepared for the apocalypse, and subscribe to stay in the loop. Until next time, this has been 5 Minute Facts.